Welcome to the Shirts and Skins podcast. We are your hosts, Tori, Devin, Josh, and we have a special guest over here, Travis. He is hailing from Denver, so we're going to have a little bit of Broncos talk more than likely. You know, if you know us, we don't actually like to talk about our own teams, especially this week, so we may not talk about them too much. But then again, we have Travis over here. So what I want to start with, before we recap about 4 games that we want to get into, I'm just going to personally go out on a limb and say it's a 17-game season, and I think that for the last 3 damn weeks, that's about what we're seeing. So for the last week, the underdog won 5 out of the 7 games. That's ridiculous. The week before that, the underdog won 8 of the 12 weeks. Before that, the underdog won 8 of the 12 weeks. This is insane. I'm really sorry for anybody who lost money the last 3 weeks. Devin, talk to us about this.
I don't know why we shoot fires at me, but I thought I had all the underdogs and the point spreads. I had it all figured out, man.
Dude, I know. I saw you. You were a beautiful mind.
Yeah, I ran the numbers.
Right.
I tallied what the team should and who's going to do what, and
who would do what.
It all failed. It all failed. Actually, we said Broncos, right? They failed miserably.
They did.
They actually whooped up on the Cowboys, and then they came back and were just like, the Eagles are better than the Cowboys. That's what I got from that. And then we circled it back around. It was
true?
just like, no, it's not. It's not true.
That's what I thought.
So I bet on that, and then that didn't work. So then I'm like, dude, Tom Brady after a bye week.
Oh, against Heineke?
I see what he did. Chase Young goes down. Let's double down on this.
Godwin's in.
Godwin's in.
Yeah.
Godwin's in.
Godwin was in, right? He showed up.
Weekly pick'ems.
You remember Darden?
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't do nothing.
Weekly pick'ems have been definitely hard to pick this week and last week, and so it's been kind of disheartening to kind of watch.
It is. It's so difficult thinking you know what's going on. Like, at this point in the season, you should know. We're at that point
The
where
Jags beat the Bills.
You know?
I should have known. I should have known that.
I should have had an idea.
In a barn burner of 6-9 that the Jags were going to come on top of that game.
Urban
And
Meyer's going out dancing tonight.
That game lost me a lot of money. I really hate that game.
I don't think anyone had that actually
No.
pegged.
Not a damn person.
And,
even Jags fans weren't saying we're going to win this game.
yeah.
Like, that was one of them games where Jags fans like, we don't need to watch this because we already know the outcome.
So I should have known. Thursday when the Dolphins beat the Ravens that nothing was going to change. But I didn't put that together because I was just like, Thursday night games, crazy stuff's happening on Thursday.
Yeah, prime time.
You know, that quick
Friday
turnaround.
college game, you know, it's
Exactly.
that upset.
It's just, they did that for a purpose. They knew something. There's some kind of matchup that is enticing, and I don't know what happened, but I should have known that nothing changed.
Are you sure they didn't just grab this wad of stuff?
No, so what they do,
threw it against the wall?
No.
And
So
it ended up being a
they
good
hear
game?
me. The football gods hear me talk out loud.
It's like when you send it to London.
No, they hear me. They hear me. They
hear you.
Yeah, they hear me. They're like, oh, you're going to sit Patrick Mahomes? How about 5 touchdowns?
Yeah.
You know who I put him in for? Matt Ryan, who balled out before.
For the past couple of weeks, he's been balling.
Patrick Mahomes was not balling. Dude, that man got me 20 points in 3 games.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. I had him
so
also.
he's like, you know what? Let's make up for all
But
that
I
and go for
started
50.
him.
I sat him in 2 leagues, and I played him in 1. I still haven't even looked at fantasy football because we're not going back. We're going ahead. So Thursday
Last week
night
is over. It's a new
we're
week.
moving
So you're starting
forward.
Matt Ryan.
No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that either. We're not going to do that either.
Never again.
Gentlemen, do
Underdogs, man.
do any of you, and let's start with Travis. So he's our new guest. When you were watching the Miami Dolphins game against the Ravens, did you have any specific takeaways that you had about coaching staff, about the team-oriented defense, or how they corralled Lamar Jackson or Lamar Jackson's individual performance? What was your takeaway?
I feel like some schemes just work better than others, and I mean you've seen this with the Broncos. Scrambling QBs seem to do really
Decimate them.
Yeah, they're very successful. The Ravens destroyed the Broncos as well, so different schemes work out better than others. And with the Ravens and the Dolphins, they shut down their run game, which is, let's be honest, 75% of what they do. And they have some really good CBs, and so they shut them down early. And so, I don't think anybody saw it. We had probably 30 people on the pick'em for that week, and no one picked the Dolphins winning that week.
The Dolphins do run a bit of. They ran a lot of zone, which is there's a difference between knowing what you need to do to shut down a quarterback and then also the quarterback and how they're going to game plan against it. But I do really feel like the Dolphins, which again, like last year, they were 10-6.
Mm-hmm.
Like last year, Flores was a Coach of the Year candidate.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm not incorrect in saying that, but when it came down to the Ravens in particular, they did run a bit of a zone, which is what you need to do if you're going to go against Lamar Jackson. Mm-hmm. But Lamar Jackson throughout this year has been able to make those mid-intermediate throws that has been able to push the game, and it seemed like Flores had an answer for it.
What the Dolphins did was they seemed to bring a lot of cornerback blitz.
Uh-huh.
And their corners were fast enough to be able to contain Lamar instead of letting him get out. That seemed to be the difference. Normally when you blitz Lamar, he gets out of containment and runs wild or does that,
or he finds a guy
down the field. Right.
As he's doing that, exactly.
Because that corner's coming up. Now that guy's going to have single coverage where the safety's having to cover him, so there's no safety deep now.
The biggest thing about that, though, is in that game, Watkins came back, Bateman is now healthy, and you still have Hollywood, and then you still have your tight end Andrews. So it's like you should have been able to, if they find somebody,
certainly should have.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
MVP, you know? So something like that, when you see that, it doesn't matter what they did, what the defense did. It should have been at least a closer game.
Right.
And
I can
like
agree.
you said,
I can agree.
He even, a part of the pick'em sheets, we had 3 games. Everyone picked, basically flushed. There was one person who picked out of the 30 people, one person went Carolina over Arizona, but everyone went Arizona. Everyone went Bucs.
Naturally.
Everyone went Baltimore.
Naturally.
Yeah. And, it's just, those are the games that lost. It was like, that is crazy. So that brings me back to the Buffalo game when they lost. It's just, these games right here, it's just crazy. It's crazy. Or like when the Jets beat the Titans, when the Jets won, stuff like this this is where this year's going. And it's hard to bet. It's hard to bet.
And it is. And it speaks to the parity of the NFL. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, if we're talking about college here, which we're not, but it'd be like the same thing as Alabama losing, Georgia losing, Clemson, LSU, like pick a year. It'd be the same thing as these guys like losing on week 7 to an unranked team, which is, what we're looking at. If we're looking at Miami or we're looking at like tying the Detroit Lions, like that doesn't happen. But the thing is that we're not talking about a countrywide talent disparity of 22 plus or minus year olds here and 5-star recruits versus like 2 3-star recruits. We're talking about the greatest football talent possible all smashed into one league, and that's why they say it's any given Sunday. And so that, like, these 3 weeks, now this is insane. 3 straight weeks of underdogs almost completely beating out the favorite. That's wild. And now we're talking about 17 weeks of this as opposed to 16. And so I feel like right now, we're about to see the change. Like, the Bills are about to establish themselves. The Steelers, dare I say Patriots?
But I feel like we've said that already, that now we're getting to the point where we know these teams.
And that's why the Kansas City won.
Like, Kansas City, a team that we were like, oh, they're done. They're washed up. Even though we
41 burger.
You could never
are they still done, but the Raiders are more done?
We got some controversy.
Are they well done?
Some stuff going on.
Are they well done? Okay. What do you think? You're a part of that division.
Yeah, I don't know. With the Raiders,
because you're in the mix of that division.
Yeah.
You're literally in the mix of that division.
It's like a circle.
4th in that division.
Teddy 2 hands, 3 hands, 4 hands, 5 hands. Doc Ock.
I mean, don't count on Teddy Bridgewater tackling anybody, but I mean,
Oh, if he had another hand.
Yeah.
He might get sat for that one. I don't know. We'll see.
That
But
was embarrassing. Like he just stepped towards him. Was like, oh nope.
it was like a
Cam
puddle.
Newton's like, I don't want to get that fumble.
Yeah,
Dude, it's right there.
yeah.
For the Ravens game,
go.
I think Hollywood Brown was also one of the, like, if we're going to blame anyone, also take in consideration of the scheme. But
Yeah, of course.
Hollywood Brown literally dropped the ball several times. I mean, he was targeted a lot. And
Yes,
I
yes.
think it was like over 10 times, and
Yep.
he only caught the ball like 4 or 5. So, I mean, that
And a
definitely
handful of drops.
makes a difference.
Yeah, I agree. He's hit or miss. It seems like the open passes he just can't
The more
catch.
difficult it is, the higher his catch
right.
possibility. Like his catch rate goes up on
Yeah.
on a crazy catch. If
Oh,
it's
Hollywood, baby.
Yeah.
like a drop in the basket, and he's gonna drop it. But if he's got to like do a one-handed OBJ all day,
Yeah.
As far as the Raiders and Kansas City Chiefs, I feel like, all year we've been kind of waiting to see Patrick Mahomes step back into how he was last year, and it's
I mean,
it's
we
not
have.
like they weren't in the Super Bowl last year. You
Right.
know,
But
like-
was it more their
or the
scheme,
year before?
was it more like we said the scheme? Was it more like the Raiders not watching, I guess, how everyone else played them?
that could be. That's I've made this comment to Tori before coming here. Is that
True.
what makes it so different to watch the Patriots play is that Bill Belichick, he almost comes up with a new scheme every single game that he plays.
Right. He's a
And-
mastermind on defense and
Yeah,
special
he
teams, man.
schemes to figure out how to take out your best
Right.
weapon, force you to go somewhere else, out
Yeah.
of your
Right.
comfort zone.
And
Go ahead.
And knowing, like, even from, like, when the Broncos won the Super Bowl in 2015, you could see regression hit because teams, they win Super Bowls with these offensive playbooks or defensive playbooks, and then they refuse to change them up because they're just so used to using the same thing over and over.
Because it worked.
And I feel like Andy Reid is kind of stuck into that routine, but hopefully, he's kind of learning his lesson from these recent losses.
Not hopefully.
Well,
And what do you mean as a Bronco fan? Hopefully.
I never, in my dream world, like, I got to be realistic, but, like, in my dream world, obviously, I'd love to see, like, the Broncos somehow come out on top. We're all still fighting for that first seed in that division, but I got to come back to reality, and I think the Chiefs will eventually work their way back up into the first spot.
Let me segue in two parts, and I don't want to spend too much time on this, but it's funny that you say that because if you have listened to an interview or a podcast with Andy Reid, he will tell you he's still just running a West Coast offense. Like, no, obviously not, because you have Mahomes and you have Kelsey and you have Hill, and like that's what you've been doing.
maybe based
is
on that-
not West Coast,
Right. It may be a base of that, and then he put his spin
Sure.
to it.
And
to
four
say-
verts is
Yeah, but he
implemented
modernized it.
into every single-
No, but he modernized
Well,
it
to say
too with
I'm
all the
just running-
with all the line shifts.
To
Exactly.
say that I'm running a West Coast, like, shut up. No,
Yeah.
you're not. Stop.
He's told his former coaching staff, who was like, what are you doing? Because they're inquiring about what he has.
Right.
He's like, no, it's the same offense I've always run. It's like, yeah, it's not the same offense with Alex Smith. It's definitely
That's
not.
so crazy because like
insane.
when you say West Coast, it's like I remember
Well,
you just going back and just handing the ball off to like Westbrook over and over and over again.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Hey, remember when Donovan McNabb would just like run the ball like for 90 yards a game because he had no one to throw the ball to?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't see Patrick Mahomes doing that. Patrick Mahomes is airing
And
the
he
ball
could.
out to everyone.
He could.
He could. But I
he's
think they
also got a Brett Favre
I also think they dialed that.
shotgun on his arm.
I also think they dialed that back ever since his injury.
Certainly, and I think a lot of what we're seeing, and I don't want to say the Y word if anybody's like, watch Ted Lasso. But we all know what we're talking about. But a lot of that seems to be he's throwing the ball up quite a bit into, and you should. If you have the Kelseys, if you have the Hills and it's one-on-one coverage, it's a 50-50 ball. You actually don't know the stats, but it's
You gotta trust your player. Look at just last night.
It hasn't worked out up until
in the Rams game.
Now.
They get OBJ the first time he throws the ball. It's a broken play, and
miscommunication
he
between the two of them.
just throws it up,
Slings it.
You trust OBJ can make a play on it, but
I
it's
certainly
just
would.
it's too far out.
I think
and too
OBJ
much.
kind of broke left. The ball came floating to the right.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
But you trust it. You give him a chance.
that's that
And
lack
what
of-
kind of chance? What kind of chance was it really? Doesn't matter. We can look at it from his perspective, their perspective.
For sure.
But it's just chemistry. It wasn't there, and he
Exactly.
threw it up.
Because it was week one.
Right.
For them. For
them,
Stanford,
right.
for OBJ,
Correct.
it was week one. But did anybody see and again, I don't want to go too far on this one. We're branching off to the next side. Did anybody see the Bill Belichick post-game conference that he had after this week's win against the Browns?
I honestly did not.
You did not? No worries. He was excited. He
Yeah?
was
Oh, wow.
Was he
elated.
smiling?
He was smiling. I want to say he said the word, it was awesome.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Now, I might
I have to go look this up.
watch it. I really feel like he said awesome. Maybe I felt like this is awesome. I might be putting words in his mouth.
Did he say it with the face where it showed
that's the
no
thing.
expression? Like,
That's
it was
great.
awesome.
But like,
Was his hands in his pocket?
it wasn't, throw the cloak on
It wasn't
with
just
the hoodie on,
We're
with
we're on to the next
sleeves.
team.
It wasn't the emperor that we've known. Like, Bill Belichick is very excited about this team. He really enjoys his team. It's not like, oh, I had Brady and I had Moss and it's on to the next game. It's like, I have Mac Jones and, he's excited about this
I
team.
think this
And that
is
thrills me for where they're headed.
Well, it's starting to be a testament of his coaching now.
Yes.
Now you can't say he's a GOAT coach because he had Tom Brady.
He
And
likes
they're
the
winning.
challenge.
And he
I
does.
respect it.
Exactly. And he's very excited about it. And I don't remember a time ever where Belichick looked happy after a win. Like, go through Gronk, go through Brady, go through Moss,
It'd
go
be
through...
like when he won the Super Bowls, when he finally show a little bit of emotion.
yeah, when it's
But
all
throughout
over.
the season, it was always, we're moving on to the next team.
We're middle of the
we're on to
season
this
now.
team.
And he's just like giving praise to all of his players. And it's wild because he seems
pretty awesome.
very happy. And I'm like, I haven't seen this guy.
So just because you know what era it is, and I don't want to go too far off because these are professional athletes, but it's that era where you have to give praise and build up. Whether back in the day a pat on the back was kind of frowned upon, now you have to give that pat on the back. You have to give that, hey, you're doing great, guys. Hey, guy. I don't want to. I can't be. I can't be that hard. In your face coach. That even though he was never really like a loudmouth coach, but he has expectations, and you have to know that he will replace you, and you are. You can change you out with whoever, and that's what he will do. And being that he gave the keys to Mac Jones is doing what he's asked of.
Exactly. And he's doing it well.
And the defense is look at the defense. Defense is changing it around. That's on Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick is going to be happy about the defense not giving up 2 touchdowns, or he's happy about that special teams doing what they need to do. That's him. That's his ass. That's what.
Yeah.
Josh McDaniels, he kept him around, and I'm sure they paid him more than what we look at, more than what we even know of. There's somewhere in there to bring him back to turn down a job that he had
His coaching job, which would have paid him more.
Bill Belichick don't want to have his hands in that. You know what I mean?
He can trust to be able to run the
He
offense.
likes it,
Yes.
and and obviously it's proven. It proven it worked, and I think they still could use a wideout. But like I said, I like the 2 tight end,
There's a handful of
the
things
2
they
tight
can
end
use.
system they got going on, the 2 running back system with Bolden now and Harris. The lines coming together. Mac Jones, they need a down the field threat. I don't think KB right now is the answer for that. Myers, he's a decent route runner, but like you said, you called it, man. They might make a playoff run, dude.
All I'm saying is, like, it's refreshing, like, because we've never seen it. We've never seen Belichick be excited about a team, and so it's new and it's fun. And I'm kind of starting.
I was
to
excited
feel
last
myself
year.
I'm finding myself like getting bought in. Now, granted, never mind any of that. It's just fun to see Belichick like enjoy his job. Almost. And they're winning. And like you said, it's him now. There's no other guy on there, and they're winning and they're succeeding, and it's fun to see. So real quick, let's touch on Detroit and the Steelers. How did you feel about that one, Devin?
It was a tie. All right, let's move on.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So let's start off with
You got your ranking spot and you didn't take an L.
excuses.
And Lee, you found a way
to not lose
You
every
Lions
game.
Not
fans.
go 0-17.
And you're still going to keep your draft spot. That's right. You don't have to take an L. You can just tie.
So I mean, between the weather,
Love it.
the weather,
Oh, let's go down. All right, hold
weather, COVID, Hayden, Claypool, T.J. Watt. I mean, what else do we got here?
Do we need to keep going? I mean, can we do some?
Goff, Campbell. Let's go down the Lions and what they did.
Are you talking about
Which is like
you play
run
down
it
to your
41
competition.
times.
That's what I'm saying. The Lions are known. The Lions are known for 200-yard rushing games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it was like the first time in
I would
like
have thought you
3
were a game
years.
plan for that. No.
No, so it was a surprise.
Surprise.
It was a surprise to us, and then the weather, and no. So I actually said, people were like, "Oh, it's not a trap game. It's not." Listen, Steelers are known to play down to our opponents. When you don't have Big Ben's leadership there, and you put the keys into Mason Rudolph's hands, it's downhill from there. I don't care who you are, what you want to look at. When
It's
you
like
put the
Packers with
keys,
Jordan Love.
Listen, it's not that bad. Jordan Love is really bad.
What do you mean by like play down to the opponents? Elaborate on that.
When the opponent is not very good, we play to them, if not lose to them. You know what I mean?
So you're not as good as you think you are.
So how do we play the Green Bay Packers? Pretty tough. Good. A good run team, a Rodgers-led passing team, and we play them and we lose by 10. But you go play the Lions and you tie the Lions.
Well,
you go up 7-0 at the beginning of the game, and the whole offense just dies out after. When you see something like that, it's like you had the hype. It's like we can do this, and then you just die out. And now you're just meeting match for match. You're not even like taking it serious
Oh,
anymore.
it's hat on a hat.
And
So
you
instead
keep
of like,
an NFL professional football team in a game. It's going to be a game, and then you add bad weather. You get a tie.
instead of watching the game script and trying to pre-plan for the game, you go
Turnovers.
home and you play Madden
Well,
or something.
and then not only
like,
that.
this is good enough.
Well, whenever you watch,
they're like, we don't have a quarterback. We gotta run this damn thing
Whenever
if we're
you
gonna
watch
even
a
be in
game
it.
like this, even Big Ben himself, when he's getting caught up in these games as well,
Sure.
through his years, the best way to put it is look at Matt Stafford. Same thing that happened to him last week. 2 interceptions off rip, scoring touchdown. Same thing happened to him this week. Now you're behind. Now you have to pass. Now Sean McVay's just trying to do all this crazy
Which
stuff.
one was off of his own
No,
receiver's hands.
listen,
Like, come
you can't
on
do
now.
that. Why aren't we running the ball? We ran the ball, but why did it take Harris till the fourth quarter, 3 minutes left to get 100 yards? And I don't think he had 100. I think he ended up with 99 yards because he lost 5 yards on one of the last plays. But you get that turnover. You start getting momentum. It's raining. Wet ball.
Like
It's the worst.
One thing we all can agree on:
Please say it.
NFL, get rid of the tie.
Thank you.
Bull crap.
Why are we ever tying?
How do you have a tie? Get rid of that.
What are you talking
Why?
Get rid of that.
about? How long do you want that game to go on for? I was
I
ready for
want
it
it to
be
go
over.
as long as my $300 a ticket
Yeah.
goes for.
So
It's not for one overtime.
I believe
It's for till someone wins.
I
That's
believe-
what I bought.
I believe a tie is good. I believe a tie is better than a loss because now
Is it better than a win?
I'm tied.
Is it
and
better
I'm
than a win?
above, I'm above the Raiders. I'm above the Browns. I'm above. I tied. Okay, so we'll chalk it up as an L.
Get
I don't
rid
know.
of that, NFL, please. Like that's
I-
the worst thing.
I really want to see
Do we keep playing?
if a team goes 0,
Would you do, like,
0,
another
and
5 minutes?
17. I want to see where the NFL ranks them. I want to see it. I just want to see all straight ties, like all the way through. Like we never
That'd
lost.
be an incredible feat.
We never lost. So
we
like,
never
how
won.
can you keep us out of the playoffs? We never lost.
Well, that's one thing though. So now that we got the 17th game, they can only tie as the worst record, right? Because they can only lose 16.
Yeah, but like, what if you never lose?
You just tie every game.
Yeah,
That'd be phenomenal.
I know.
That'd be an incredible feat. That's what I'm
You should
saying.
be at the top of the division. You're undefeated.
It's like
Technically.
hockey, right? It's like the sudden death hockey rule.
No, I'm
like,
sure there's some mathematics that
Yeah.
it'd be able to rank it and then go on and so on and so forth. But we are in the NFL. We
my
are the
boy,
top.
my boy Najee Harris
of-
didn't even know you could tie.
Dude, the best thing, Donovan McNabb. Yes. After he retired, he went on broadcasting and he was like, yeah, I didn't even know that there was a tie. Like, I didn't even know you could. I'm like, dude, you were quarterbacking a game that tied when you were the quarterback of the Eagles. How do you not know that you can tie when you were a part of a game that tied?
It's just
He's like, yeah, I didn't even know it was possible. What?
He went home and played Madden. I mean,
He never tied in Madden before.
You tied.
You just keep.
Dude, I just
You
play.
quarterbacked that game. You tied.
Dude, I just play offense, bro. I don't know what the defense did, dude.
I just moved on to the next week. Let me get my stat points and let's move on, upgrade my players. And
Hey, speaking of that, did y'all see Pete Carroll?
you gotta change the rules.
Hey, did y'all see Pete Carroll? He couldn't find his flag, so he like threw his
the
phone or
Oh, dude, threw like scissors, keys, his wallet,
kitchen sink.
yeah.
Yeah, he just threw.
Dude, he had
Everything out there.
so much stuff in his pockets. I was just
Like, like $700. He's like, here,
Bro.
green flag.
yeah, that's crazy. I thought that was hilarious though. But yeah, man, the tie.
Ripped his pants off and just.
Yeah, the tie though. It was I actually took the Lions +8, but
Hey, so you won.
no, I called that.
Yeah,
But you put
did.
it in parlays and everything else went
Everything
to
else
crap.
fell apart.
So like I do know a little something. I kind of watch enough football to know
Yeah, what
what should happen.
Everyone did not have the Lions winning.
Yeah.
No one had the Lions
Nor did-
tying
Yeah.
or winning.
They're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I could see him maybe winning, but no one was like, they're going to win.
Yeah.
No.
Not
no.
unless you're a tens of millionaire and you just threw $2,000 on it. You're like, yeah, I mean, who
Or
knows?
you're Lee.
Shot in the dark.
Yeah.
No, not even Lee.
Yeah,
was like,
I
winning
lost
this game.
$2,000. But like,
Yeah.
you know, whatever.
If
All
I
right.
had $2,000, I would have put +8 on the Lions covering that. I was super confident that the Lions were going to cover that.
I mean, because you're a Steelers fan, do you play down to your team? So
That's just what we do, man.
that's just what you do, and that's why you won.
No, I lost.
That's you won. Well, that's because you parlayed. Like,
Yeah.
why'd you parlay? Like, you already called it.
Yeah.
All right, Panthers Cardinals.
So I actually was anxious to get to this one because you
Yeah, this
mentioned
was the topic
that,
you had. What's going on?
supporting your quarterback was such like an important role, especially for the Patriots. So I mean, do you feel the same with the Panthers' new addition to their QB? Do you feel like they have to give that same support level that they've been?
He never left.
I mean, that's true.
Listen, the way they were on the
Did you ever leave if you came back?
Right. I don't know. You tell
It's
us.
like a tepid
you tell us, man. Yeah.
The way that they seemed to rally around him on the sidelines, like he was already in charge of that offense, and he wasn't even the quarterback for the game.
Oh, he did
Yeah, he
well.
only played like 4 downs.
Yeah,
and
he had
still,
4
still
snaps,
somehow had
2
like
touchdowns.
Yeah, scored.
Like, but he was like they were showing the sideline, and everyone's around him. He was in
Right.
the middle of that huddle,
Yeah.
pumping him
Yeah.
up, getting him
Well,
going.
he is the vet over there. You know, that's
And
a young
it is
team.
also,
That's a young team.
It's always been his team.
Yeah, that's a young
Carolina.
team.
That's where he feels at home. Like, I
Yeah.
can't do that in a Patriots.
like
Like, I can't go into a Patriots huddle and do that. But if I go back to Carolina, where I pulled these guys, or all these guys are now younger than me, he can definitely get away with it.
Right. There was no Superman in Boston.
no, they didn't
No.
Yeah.
like that. He was out of place there.
Superman's now Mac Jones.
Right.
Do you think that they have an option to become
Better.
a playoff team?
They're in
I
the
can't.
hunt.
I can't get overly hyped behind Cam Newton.
But the
That's just me.
defense, you're-
I'll say yes
Say it,
because it's
Josh.
the NFC.
You'll say yes because Darnold's over there.
If he was playing, they would be a lock for the playoffs. With Cam and the NFC, the NFC is so bad minus your top teams,
Minus your top heavy
and then it's
Super
a
Bowl
drop.
favorites.
Like
Yeah.
the
No, it
Panthers
is.
right
though.
now
It is.
are
though.
in the playoffs.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
It's crazy that the Panthers are in the playoffs,
Yeah.
and it's like because literally you have that group on the top, and then
Mm-hmm.
it's a drop off right there.
yeah.
It's 4 or 5 good teams in the NFC, and then like the last 2-3 spots, it's
Yep.
you hope you get to play them.
Yeah, the Saints with Trevor Siemian, former Bronco. They're in the mix.
Yeah,
Like they're right there. And
Bro, he was so good they picked
No
up Drew
one's-
Lock.
Yep. Right. Former Bronco. Let's just get the Broncos quarterbacks over there.
Yeah, they're inconsistent for sure. I mean, and that's what I kind of expect from Cam Newton. I mean, is inconsistency, I feel like.
And he don't have the mobility no more.
Yeah, I feel like he could still do some play actions and he'll do those
RPOs.
QB sneaks.
Yep.
Like where it's like a 1 yard, like to get to the
yeah, like
first
the way he
down
scored
or-
in the
Yeah,
game was that
exactly.
1 yard
Yeah.
play. Like you have to respect that still.
Yeah, it looked like
But you're
2018.
not,
Yeah.
you're not worried about him taking off for 40 yards against you
No.
and doing some of that stuff that he used to do.
You're 6'4",
Yeah.
6'5". If you see a gap, go get you that 3-4 yards, bro.
Yeah.
Take it,
Yep.
take it because
'Cause you can't throw.
I don't trust your arm. I don't trust your arm.
Yeah.
We were just talking about like I watched some of the AFL, and PJ Walker can throw, man. He could throw. I don't know why they're just already pushing him to the side. Like, I would trust him. I trust his arm more than I trust Cam, but they have to see something. He has that experience. He's a vet. We're going to see. We can come back. That's one good thing about doing this podcast and watching these sports is we don't really know anyway what we thought we knew. So it's like he might go out there and light it up.
You know what you
But
didn't think that you know was Heineke and his arm.
No, I
go back
trust
to
him.
the NFC.
I
And to
trust
beat the
that.
Bucks.
I trust that. I didn't. No, I didn't see him beating the Bucks, especially Tom Brady and the Bucks after a bye
Crack
week.
open a few Heinekes and let's beat the Bucks.
A Tom Brady Buccaneers team after a bye week, and you go in there and beat them.
Like good.
That's crazy to me. But I don't trust Cam Newton, man. That's just me.
One thing,
Understandable.
Before we move on, I just wanted to touch base on this is that, now that I'm here, I can talk about the 2015. Hold on to that championship that we
You got to. You got
Get
to.
him!
But
Get him! Tell him!
the Panthers were the team that we went up against. So he's going back to literally almost the same exact team that he met that championship with, but with a better defense. I mean, that's one thing to keep into consideration, and why I think it's so interesting that they brought him back into that element.
I just feel like he was feeling himself that year. He was MVP. They were on a killer winning streak.
And they had a killer defense.
Dude, I'm telling you, the mobility, once you lose that mobility, once you lose that arm strength, it shows, man. He doesn't have what he used to have. I'm telling you that. And if you don't see it, if you don't see that, like, you're blind. You're just a fan. You're just a fan. Mm-hmm. I'm a fan of Big Ben. I know he lost it 3 years ago. But he's still the best option we have.
Yeah, that's
right.
true.
You have to go with that. Is Cam Newton the best option you have? I don't know. I don't know. We're gonna see. You do have more weapons than he did have in Boston and New England or whatever, but don't put. I don't know how much faith you're gonna put into him. How much faith are you putting in him?
Playoff faith? Or are they going to make it? They're on the fringe.
Yeah,
They're
right there.
They can ride it out. They can stop the run.
it's interesting for sure.
Yeah, it's a team to watch.
It's a good time.
I'm not betting on them. I'm not betting no more.
Well, I'm not betting on anything that you bet on.
I'm not betting anymore.
As he was just showing us earlier, all the parlays that he's already put in.
Listen, I do not condone anything they're talking about. I wasn't doing any of that.
All right, let's move on. Let's get a few projections in because what I really want to talk about right now is, as we touched on Kansas City, and we touched on teams turning the corner and heading towards the playoffs, we're getting to that week, whether it's a week 17 or not, we're heading towards that week. And the Chiefs are actually at the top of their division. And now they're heading up against the Cowboys. And the Cowboys, I mean, like, let's be fair. We know the division they play in. We know the conference they play in. Can
Football
Kansas
team.
City beat the Cowboys?
The Cowboys do have...
Because I'm going to say Kansas City's going to beat them. Go ahead,
The
Josh.
Cowboys have played the second easiest schedule in the NFL.
To this point, yes.
That being said, I still think they're going to be able to beat the Chargers. I mean, the Chiefs.
Of course you would say that.
I'm going to side with him on what he just said.
Well, I mean,
As a Raider fan, I
the
understand
good thing
that.
with
Who
this
got
one now is
mollywopped.
another AFC West guy, so we'll get his opinion here in a minute as well to see where he's at on this.
Yeah, I just want to see how you feel
see if
about
it's just
Kansas
a
City
bias
dropping a
or-
41 on you.
So-
And
We don't talk about that.
So the Cowboys
Guess we
looked
factor in
different
a
last
little bit.
week, but they were also going up against the Falcons, who are missing a ton of offensive options. I mean, they really only had Kyle Pitts left in that game to throw to, so it
True.
wasn't really that hard to shut down. As far as the Chiefs and the Cowboys game going on the next week, I mean, our record, the Broncos' record, isn't great against the Chiefs. You know, we've lost like the last 4 games that we played against them throughout the past couple of years.
right?
And the Broncos destroyed the Cowboys. So, I mean,
Right.
if we're going by that logic, you know, the Chiefs, I think, should have
Good
no
fan
problem
logic.
beating the Cowboys. Although I don't want to see it.
A Raiders
I feel
fan
like-
over here
I
has
feel like
something
that's
to
what's gonna
disagree.
happen, you
Someone
know,
in the
like-
same division is disagreeing.
No,
It's
That
absurd.
logic is. I don't want to say bad logic because I don't want to offend you in any way here.
No,
But that's terrible logic. The Jets beat the Bills. Are we saying the Jets are all of a sudden good now?
the Jets are the greatest team.
the Cowboys are, I understand they played a weak, soft schedule, but they are still a very good, talented team.
Are the Chiefs not?
But the Chiefs have no defense still.
Does that matter against the Cowboys?
Matter because the Cowboys have a good defense. The Cowboys have a really good offense. They have a lot of weapons.
I can't wait to see you
What do we
next week.
really want? What do we really want out of this game is like a 45 to like 38 game, though, right?
No, what we really want is a 45
That's
to 45 tie. That's really what we're looking
You
for.
hear, he listens. You guys need to start listening. The ties are where it's at. No,
That's where it's at.
if we're going
for
with
someone who knows.
if we're going with the logic, you know what I mean. The Bills are at the top, and the Steelers beat the Bills. So I mean, I agree. I agree with your logic, but how I see it is, don't ever say, "Hey, let's go back to 2015," and that's when we won our ship, because them boys have been champions since like 1993, and they haven't been nobody. And I honestly despise the Cowboys, not because of the team itself or even Doc, because I actually like Doc. I'm not a big fan of Jerry Jones, but I hope the Chiefs take it. I would definitely split this in like some kind of sheets type form. It's a tough game because you really don't know. The Chiefs can score with anybody. Pat has to have some time. He has to make some time. And if you see any kind of defense, the ball go the other way, like in the Denver game where they just took over and Cowboys become one-dimensional, I could see a high-scoring game here. And I would love to see the over-under. It has to be like 56, 60, 50, somewhere up there, because it has to be a high-scoring game.
Yeah.
But I take the Chiefs. I like the Chiefs. I'm going with, hopefully Pat found some kind of rhythm and sticks to it, but don't bet on this game, man.
All right, so then I went Chiefs, looking like Josh is going boys. All right, and then so Travis, where are you at with this one?
You know what? I really like the Cowboys on paper. They have really great wide receiver options. They have two great running backs, a great QB. They have a lot of great defensive players as well, but somehow I don't really know how.
Talk to 'em.
They always
Talk
end
to
up
'em.
losing the game. I don't know if it's
Don't talk yourself out of it.
people trying to
Come on.
get that ball opportunity, and they just don't know who to give the ball to.
Bring it
'Cause
home.
Sometimes they give Zeke the ball like in situations where it doesn't make sense. So I feel like because they haven't found that identity, the Chiefs are gonna.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
But that's where I'm at. I don't like it, but that's
3
the
Chiefs to
AFC
1
West
Cowboy.
fan.
Hey, all right.
That's
We're
where
all,
I'm at.
I would love for you to join us next week.
The Cowboys always beat the Indians. Let's really be honest.
And I really wish you could join us next week, because this would have been a blast having 3-1 against them. All right, so let's go ahead. Bengals and Raiders.
So this one has a little bit of value here, not because the Raiders are in it or the Bengals are in it, but someone might be attending this game, right, Josh?
Yes, I will be in Vegas.
Someone going to be there?
Live at the stadium in the Death Star representing. Cannot wait for this game. I'll be honest, when I first looked at the schedule,
Yeah.
this was a game I was like, hey, I want to go to that one because you get to see Joey Burrow. You get to see Chet. I'm like, this would be cool, and it should be a win.
A win would be good. First
Now-
time going.
Should be.
Now, as we're into the season, I'm not as confident. Like, my confidence level has dropped tremendously. I feel like we still can win,
For sure.
but it's not we're going to win the way I was at the beginning of the year whenever I looked at the schedule and I'm like, there's a game. We can win that one easily. Let me pick that game to go to.
If I were to put like $100 on this game like a while ago, like I'd be like, man, that sucks. Now, if I were to go to like Vegas and be like, man, if I could bet on this game here, I wonder if I have like a 10 somewhere. You know what I mean? Like I could probably lose a 10, Like, yeah, I don't know, man. That's going to be a tough one. For you, obviously, go Raiders, right? Go Raiders, because we need the Bengals to lose again. That's right. And I hope the Raiders do win this one for you as you get to go to the game. We get a lot of pictures, man. I want to see the inside of it, man. I hope it's a blast for you. And I can't wait to call out of work and say I'm going to the game with you. So it's going to be great.
Hey, yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
I just hope it's nothing like the Bears and Buccaneers game that I went to this year. I really hope it's nothing like that, buddy. All right, so then...
Yeah, that's just rough.
Stop.
Just rough.
Who are you going with? If you're going to pick a team. right here on the podcast.
I do think the Bengals should win this, but don't count the Raiders at home. I'm going Raiders because man, go Josh, right? Go Josh.
Josh, who are you going with?
I mean, I feel like this is...
No, who do you think's going to win? Not who are you going with.
He's going to be all there in Raiders gear, in there in the Raiders area.
It's going to be like, hole. I just won $700 because the Bengals won. Yes!
Bengals. I went Bengals. Yeah.
All of you peasants.
Yeah, free trip.
I feel like that the Raiders will bounce back. Every time they've lost, they've bounced back and kind of seem to come back and do a little bit better.
Right, they beat us.
Like, this is going to be that same type of game. Their offense is scary,
right?
But their defense is good, but doesn't scare me that much. I can't imagine Carr is going to have another bad game the way he had that last week.
That one really actually looked really bad.
He made some terrible decisions. He's got to bounce back from that.
Yeah.
I like the Raiders, but I won't be surprised if the Bengals win, and I think it's going to be a close game.
All right, Travis, where are you at? Give us your input.
I definitely don't like the Raiders, but
I knew that. But I'm talking about who do you think is going to win?
That's very blunt. That's very blunt.
I don't like that.
Tell us more.
I will respect their resourcefulness given everything that they've went throughout the year.
Criminal activity. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if we're being honest. But, which has never changed, really.
Right. It's the same.
Yeah.
But the Bengals are criminals, too, so it's like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Where's Bonte Burfict when you need him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, Brian Edwards has stepped up. Josh Jacobs is back, and he's been performing pretty well. I think they'll get creative, but I'm going to go with the Bengals on this one just because, they got a lot more offensive weapons, in my opinion. Joe Mixon has been a stud. They have some pretty good defensive options as well. And Jamar Chase is, he might get Offensive Rookie of the Year. So
I think he has Offensive Rookie of the Year. And Mixon is the guy that I'm worried about because our run defense is terrible.
Yeah,
and he's good. Like there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, he's good for sure.
Good. So that's the part that I'm worried about. I think they're going to establish run and just dominate on the ground.
So that's my pick. What about
where you at, Tori?
Well, see, I don't like the Steelers.
Huh?
I thought we were just talking about teams that we don't like. No, that's not what you were saying. I really don't like them.
Let's get it on.
I'm going to call Mama. Where's Mama Drager at? Son's talking crazy. So, Tyler, where's your beard?
2 weeks in. Hey. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Now there's three of us. Now I'm really missing out. Been on a run here as far as how I've been speaking about teams and where they're at in their progression. One of those was the Bengals and the Browns, right? Like 2 weeks ago, there was a moment there on our podcast where
basically unlogically picking teams by some crazy madness, and then it's working.
Right? Yeah. So hop on the train.
I'm here, dude. Here's $40 and make me some money.
I felt like the Browns going up against the Bengals. I felt like there was a time where they've just played in bigger games, and Joe Burrow hasn't, and that offense and that defense for that matter had just not played in the games that actually technically mattered at that moment. And I felt like the Browns might be able to take them down, in which they did. And then the Browns, I really felt like a giant hypocrite at the moment. I really did, because then they played the Patriots, and I'm like, the Patriots really just got hot. They really just started. But then again, I'm looking at all the defense that Belichick put together, all the defense that they just signed. I'm looking at Mac Jones, and I was looking at the coaching staff and preparation. And so they seem to be the ones that I felt like I trusted more than Baker's hurt shoulder and the lack of experience of success in the larger games. And so I went Patriots. And so that's what I'm going to do with this one here, except I'm not. I'm going to veer off on this one. I'm going to say I almost feel like it was, 3 years ago that we felt Goff and Carr might be the next quarterbacks of the future. There was a time that they were both playing
right. Goff was putting up 38 points a game.
Out of their mind. Exactly. And they just seem to be
I don't
like
know I don't know what Carr was doing, but
they seem to be like the next. All right, these are the quarterbacks, and they're going forward. And not that Carr hasn't been steadfast, and far more than Goff.
No, but
don't get me wrong.
He still dropped off from that year.
He
though,
started dropping
because
off.
when he hurt his thumb in that playoff game,
yes,
bro, like he was lighting it up, and then he was lighting it up before he hurt his thumb in that game,
right?
And then we thought he was gonna be something the following year, and then
MVP is what I've heard for 2 years.
I've heard the same.
And so and I've always liked the Raiders team, top to bottom, offense to defense. But right now, where I'm at, it almost feels like the Bengals are taking that step that the Raiders couldn't, to me. And I'm sorry to say that. And I see you nodding, and that hurts my soul. It really does. It hurts me to say that.
The Bengals are going in the right direction.
Exactly. I feel like the Bengals are going in the right direction. I feel like this is going to be one of those moments where they take that step. No, I'm not saying they're taking the step, but this is one of those teams. This is one specific team that was supposed to be there.
I hope it ends in a tie, dude.
And I feel like the Bengals are going to beat the Raiders. And I'm sorry, Josh, because you're going to be there, and I'm going to be rooting for the Raiders because I know you're going to be there.
I'm going to text you. I'm going to text you
win.
The final of the Lions-Steelers game.
Man.
When it's a tie.
Oh, man.
And I'll be like, bro, I hope you get 10 more minutes of that ticket you paid for, and I hope it just ends in a tie.
Well, he can just kind of stay there as long as he wants.
And just back-to-back ties. That's what I hope. I hope that's where we're headed. And also, while we're hitting on betting notes and everything, it was crazy that
Don't start.
your college team, Georgia, cleared my parlay. Your Michigan team.
Of course they did, buddy.
Your Michigan team.
You're welcome.
Cleared my parlay.
Yeah.
And then here comes my Canes. We're looking horrible. Now we're looking good.
You need to know that he's bringing this up.
No.
Not us.
No, because I have to get this off my chest. I have to get this off my chest. Because
I was going to prod you with this.
I hate it. I hate it so much. It hurts my soul. We were 5 years. You said 3 years. We were 5 years.
There you go, buddy.
Just back in the game, on a streak. And then we lose to Florida State, man.
Yeah, you did.
And it just breaks my heart. It breaks my heart, and I hope that don't happen to Josh when he's at the Bengals game. And I just wanted to circle that around.
So that's why you're going to send him a screenshot of the score. And
yeah. So don't bet with your heart. Don't ever go with your heart.
But Raiders are resourceful, given the past 2 weeks.
I seen that. They were very resourceful when they resurrected Patrick Mahomes' career.
Well, I'm just exactly. They can revive people.
We helped
Good on 'em.
Pat remember. Yeah, you are Patrick Mahomes. Remember that.
What a good team.
You're not just a shoe junkie, bro.
So I'm hoping that we help the Bengals remember they are the Bengals.
Right.
There we go.
So if you don't recall, the Bengals whipped up on the Ravens, and the Ravens haven't been the same since.
Yeah.
Right. The Browns whipped up on the Bengals. Well, let's hope they're not the same.
So now the Chicago Bears are going to play the Ravens, and we're going to lose.
Yeah, you're right.
It's
all right. Good, we got past that. All right, let's move on to
take notes from the Dolphins, blitz those corners, and hope Hollywood drops balls. I mean, that's all you need.
I'd be confident.
How are you feeling with Justin Fields over there? I mean,
I feel like honestly he's getting better every week. Yeah. I don't feel like our team is getting better.
I feel like some of these rookies are started
at the bottom. Now we're here.
I'll tell you what, there was a moment there right after halftime during that Steelers game, during that
win.
I'm sure a referee in 10 years is going to write a book about all the flags that they threw that they
how he grew up in like Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I feel like that's gonna come out later, and he's gonna be in jail for like 9 months, and he's gonna divulge everything.
He couldn't actually have his terrible towel on him, so he just kept throwing his flag.
Yeah, it was like, I just thought I had my terrible towel on me. I didn't know that was a flag, but 15 yards. Justin Fields, I feel like in that second half, there was a moment that I feel like he looked at Nagy where they just completed a first down. He just looked at him straight in the eyes, and they just looked at each other and they're like, oh, it's go time. Okay. Enough with all these scheming plays. Let me just drop back and throw. And he did. And he was money. And he was cooking. And it was none of these RPOs and we're just going to bootleg. And it was dude, to hell with all that. I actually am a quarterback and I can throw. And so that felt really good, especially at this point in the season.
And he still got some wheels.
and he's still got some wheels.
Yeah.
And it was just like, get out, like just be an athlete sometimes, which you can at that age.
What do you?
I
think,
loved it. I think we're gonna lose to the Ravens though.
What do you think?
But I feel like he is on the right
So
track.
I just want to circle back to what I said.
I don't know about
I was
Nagy
a
and the rest of it.
I was a Georgia fan and a Michigan fan and all that, and now I already jumped on the Raiders bandwagon for like this week. So I need them to beat the Bengals. I need the Bears to beat the Ravens. If y'all could,
you do?
Yeah, if you could just do that, because we're also going to lose to the Chargers this week. So like if we could just all lose, that'd be great. That'd be great. That's what I'm looking for this week, and I'm not betting on any of those games.
We're not letting anybody on the Chicago bandwagon when we have 3 wins.
Okay, well,
You're not allowed until we at least hit 8.
I was this close to buying a Devin Hester jersey.
So not this year at all.
Not this year at all. Not this year. 6-11. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Patriots, Atlanta Falcons. Hold on.
Hold on.
Hold on a minute.
Does anybody have the Bears winning? I just want to ask that real quick.
I want the Bears to win.
Do you have the Bears winning?
No.
Come on, buddy.
No,
Come
I'm
on.
sorry. Like I feel like you're missing too much. I mean,
That's
you
fine. I'd laugh in your face if you said the Bears would win.
I mean, you saw them play firsthand here in Tampa.
Yeah.
I mean, what did you think? Like,
I thought we were better than the Washington team, but we weren't. Because they beat the Buccaneers.
yeah, and by that logic, that you should be able to win the
Washington
Super
football team's winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly.
I could
Rest my
not see
case.
that. Yeah. But I did
Josh,
say the
Bears?
Chiefs were going to win.
Josh, Bears?
Of course
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
No.
I did say the Chiefs were going to win.
Nah, I think the
so
Ravens
like
are-
Well, yeah, because they
that's
are.
a different Indian. I mean, they used to
Oh,
be
jeez.
Indians.
Patriots, Atlanta Falcons.
So the crazy stuff.
Tell me what you think about Matt Ryan.
No, I'm not talking about him no more. I'm done with him. I'm done with him.
All right, Patriots, moving on.
Yeah. So why we brought this game up is it's Thursday. All these shenanigans been happening. The craziness of football's been going on. This brings back normalcy. Do we agree? Do we agree?
By normalcy, you mean
The Patriots beating the Atlanta Falcons by like more than 7, if you were to bet on it.
That would be normal.
With that.
That would be normal.
Yeah.
Wait, first they have to be down at least 20.
like a 28-3.
What if-
Yeah, I
What
can
if
see that.
randomly Calvin Ridley just like gets over whatever?
Doesn't mean anything.
He comes back and
I'm just not too sure what that means.
it gives you another offensive weapon. I
They
mean,
have
that's-
no.
the
I seen Matt Ryan put up .26 points on fantasy
with
football.
no offensive. They lost
That's like-
Cordero Patterson.
Ridley's not coming
How many?
back.
How many points?
.26.
Ridley's not coming back for
He's
this.
total
pulling
points.
Michael Thomas right now.
What's
He
your boy's
quarterbacked
name?
the whole game, didn't he?
The whole game.
Patterson? Patterson's still not going to play because he tweaked his ankle, so
Yeah.
those are always hard to come back
That's
from.
because he.
I haven't even looked at my fantasy like Yahoo Sports app at all, so I don't know any of this.
So he's not coming back. So it's the Kyle Pitts show.
Sounds like I need to get on the waiver wire. That's what it sounds
Man.
like.
Like even Russell Gage, who I was thinking I had to pick him up in a pinch because all my receivers were down.
Yeah.
Like I had Hopkins, and then he decided not to play. So I'm like, crap, I got to find somebody. So I did Russell Gage, and I'm like, hey, no Calvin Ridley. You know they're going to really
Yeah, he
focus
should
in on
be
Pitts.
great.
Yeah.
He got 0 points.
Yeah.
No, that's because Matt Ryan almost got 0 points.
So there's nothing about the Falcons that excites me to where I'm like, oh, you know what? They're going to beat the Patriots.
It's in Atlanta though.
Not even that excites me. Nothing
And it's on
about
Thursday night.
yeah.
Nothing
It's on
about
Thursday
this
night.
I don't care what night it's
Says-
on. It could be on Tuesday night of next year.
It could be the Patriots could play a game and then just have to play another game against the Falcons, who have been
Dude, I'm so over the Falcons, bro. The Falcons, the Broncos, the Cardinals,
They're like a
the Bucks.
500 team. That's what blows my mind.
No, I hate them.
They beat half the teams that they play.
I hate those teams too
They're-
for letting them be in the game. They were actually close to playing the Bucks when they played the
I
Bucks.
know.
this past week. They were in the playoffs before this loss.
Exactly. They were the 7th seed.
So that's what's crazy.
They're on the fringe.
Bro, they played the Saints better than the Bucks played the Saints. What is going on? What is going on? I have the Patriots over Atlanta by at least 10 plus points.
2 scores for sure.
Yeah, I have the Patriots winning as well. I don't think there's any reality where the Falcons win.
Right.
Not with their injuries.
Spider-Man comes out next month, bro. That's when we'll
Yeah.
find out where the universes go, but it's not this
I
one.
can see it because, again, like you said, there's some Thursday night shenanigans going on. And I don't actually trust either of these teams. So I could see it being I anticipate this being a really fun game. Like, it could be like 28-35,
Like, if you're a Falcons fan,
35-42.
it's
I
not
could
gonna
see
be
it
fun.
happening. But at the same time, I am going to go Patriots overall. I'm not going to predict the score. Probably 10 plus, 14 plus Patriots. But, it could be 14-0. It could be, 42-30. Like, I don't know. But I could see it being a really fun game to watch. I'm looking forward to that one, actually. All right, and then before we move on to college real quick, let's do some Arizona-Seattle.
Oh, this is an interesting one. I think
Jeff?
Kyler Murray is going to be back. I don't know why. I mean,
Wilson's back.
Yeah, is he?
Baby
I
Wilson.
wouldn't say he's back. but he played.
99% of him is back.
Yeah. I
The
mean,
1% is huge. though.
Such a huge,
It's a big 1%, boss.
yeah.
Let's just hope it was the snow.
Ask Tony Romo.
Yeah.
Because he's like, oh, that's it. He scrambled. He's down. He's back. Oh, he's all right. I mean, he's not so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dial it back, Romo. Dial it back.
I mean, it'll be dependent. I think Kyler Murray is a big part of this offense. I mean, taking that extra week off, I think, really showed it with their recent loss. And
Well, and they have the time to have the loss at the moment.
yeah, with
At the moment, they don't have a whole lot of wiggle room, but
yeah.
they were able to take that one. Go on.
Yeah, and I think James Conner is really going to prove himself as the better running back. He's been getting the majority of the touchdowns and the goal line carries, but now he's going to be more of that great pickup for fantasy option as well. But Seattle, I mean, they have a lot of offensive weapons, but on defense, I mean, they haven't really been able to stop anybody. I mean, even with that Jamal Adams pickup, he hasn't really stepped up into that major defensive pass coverage. So on this one, provided everyone's still healthy, I definitely have the Cardinals winning it for sure.
Joshy.
I don't think they're going to play Kyler Murray. I agree with you. I think if
They got room. They
because
got a
of
little
this.
bit of room.
because next week you have a bye.
You have that loss. You have that
Why?
loss to Green Bay, man.
Why do
It's a
you?
big one, though. It is a
Why
big
do
one.
you bring him back for this game and risk that injury, knowing you can have the bye next week? So you give him an extra week of rest
2
on
weeks.
top of the bye.
Right.
Give him plenty of time to get 100% healthy because in the playoffs, you need a 100% healthy Kyler Murray. That's the biggest thing.
And nothing's really going to piss him off more than watching his team just lose week after week without him in there. And so when he comes back and he's healthy, he's going to be like, all right, obviously I'm the engine that moves this.
Or is this the same Arizona team we seen last year, man? They have that drop.
That's what I'm saying, is that they're in a very tough division.
They're in the
So we're
same.
just-
They're in the same position they were last year.
Literally. Literally.
I mean,
yeah.
the only thing is,
Is he healthy?
remember,
Is he not? Are they going to be able to be good?
you got
or
the
not?
12th man
Health.
in Seattle. Seattle's tough to play in. What's the weather like? What's Wilson like? At least he got the one game in, but that was such a bad game to come back to. I think you just have to go with weapons. So let's do matchup for matchup, and it's like wide receivers. You're kind of just same. Running back, you got a committee over in Seattle. You have Connors in Arizona, so maybe Connors over here. Then you go line. Seattle's line is really bad. Arizona's got a pretty good line. Now it's defense, and it's like they match up very well. This should be a really good game. Now, is Kyler Murray going to play? That's going to be a huge thing. If Kyler Murray plays, I go Arizona. If Kyler Murray doesn't play, you got to go Seattle. In Seattle.
I think I'm there with you. Whichever quarterback ends up starting, Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, I'm just going to go with them because I don't believe both of those guys are going to start. And so whichever one of those guys starts, I'm just going to rock with them.
As someone who has Kyler Murray in fantasy, I'm hoping that I could just speak his health into existence because this waiver wire QB pickup has not been working out for me. So that's what I'm kind of hoping
Matt
for.
Ryan might be available in a couple leagues.
Yeah,
There we
that's
go.
true. Yeah, Teddy. maybe.
.264. What?
Yeah.
What was it?
Point. Not even 1 point.
Yeah.
It was point. It was like a quarter. It's horrible. Stupid.
That could have been the quarter that won you.
No, it just lost me everything.
Didn't you lose the Super Bowl fantasy by a quarter?
Dude,
Whatever.
I literally won a
If only
game.
you had Matt
Dude,
Ryan.
I won a game not this, like I said, I haven't even looked at the app, But last week I won a fantasy game
He's looked
by
at the app like
0.38.
18
No, I literally.
been in a
If
rage
I were to
about
pop
it, that's
if I
all
were
it
to
was.
pop it open right now, it'd be like it would show you all the points and the celebration of you lost, and I'm not.
Way to go, dummy.
Yeah,
There's no confetti when that happens.
Yeah.
Just not ready to face it yet.
Yeah, I'm not ready for all that. I'm just gonna wait for waiver wire, see what everyone picked up and dropped, and I'm just gonna pick up the trash and just change out my whole team.
Fair enough. All right, let's jump on over to the NCAA real quick. So I want to talk on my Georgia Bulldogs. Again, it looked a little bit scary there for a minute. We were down in the first quarter, and I was like, this is exactly what I wanted. I want to be down. I want to see a team that can put up points against us. And also, I'm tired of seeing it, and it makes me scared. And I really hope that we're going to beat these guys. And then, ended up being like, what was it, like 41-17? And it all felt good.
Yeah,
and so
defense changed the momentum.
It's phenomenal.
And the Tennessee quarterback, he's got to bring that ball down. He's throwing way too high.
True.
But
they were moving it for the first half.
Your defense is solid, bro.
It's so good.
It's so good.
It's so.
So I mean,
I really feel like that we can win the Natty with Trevor Siemian, and that blows my mind. But I think we're catching every single team at just the right moment in time, like in.
Bro,
time.
how much
like
money?
Loki could
how
draw time out for me. It'd be like this one.
How much money
This
can
is
we
where
come up
Georgia
with to together and you could talk to the wives if it's like a Georgia Michigan championship?
Bro,
Can we go?
I would love.
Can we go, guys?
41.
It'd
be phenomenal.
Can we make that happen?
And it would still sign Harbaugh to
Is there,
another 10-year deal, and that
Yeah.
would just be the icing on the cake. I would just love to gift you.
Are loans an option? What are we talking here? What are we talking here? You know what I mean?
You got to speak it into existence.
Yeah,
You know?
You gotta talk about it.
Yeah.
It's
Otherwise
a
it'll never
possibility.
Yeah.
It's a possibility.
I will say it's a possibility.
It actually is.
Yeah.
Which makes it
No.
fun.
And honestly, that's a really good matchup.
Don't bet on it though. Don't put your money. in there. Don't do it.
No, that's a good matchup. Because how their offenses and defenses are set up, that's a phenomenal matchup. Oregon, they got a little bit of defense, but I think we might see what happens with them in Utah.
Yeah.
Ohio State and Alabama, they got the offense. Their defense is lackluster.
Exactly.
So can their such bad defense make y'all's offense look good? You know what I mean? And then y'all slow them down enough to win. You know what I mean? I don't know. We'll see where they're at. But just saying, it's a possibility, man.
And for something like that to happen, this week is a huge week because
Michigan State, baby.
The Michigan State needs to beat Ohio State.
They need to cover. Plus 19.5.
You got
Write that down.
Michigan plays Maryland, so they should be able to come away with that.
Oh, Tua's brother.
Yeah.
Tagaloa.
Tonga Vailoa, you uncultured swine.
So that'll be an interesting game, but again, Michigan should come away from that
Should.
after a big win against Penn State,
Should.
leading up to the Ohio State game. That's what scares me. This could be that trap game where you overlook them because you're looking at the next game.
I feel like Michigan is in a better
Michigan's got
place.
it.
Michigan's in a better place than Ohio State is.
I agree.
Because you're playing Maryland and they're playing Michigan State.
Right.
And Ohio State's defense isn't. We're going to see. Because Michigan State, they're an all-around
Right.
good team. They're a good team. Are they a great team? I don't know. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. True.
We're going to find out. If that Purdue loss, it could be a wipe right now if they come back and beat Ohio State.
Yeah.
And I think it would be.
I'm a huge Michigan State fan. I hope
Dude, you're
Ohio
the biggest
State,
one.
Dude, I hope Ohio State
Yeah.
loses, bro. So
Like
bad.
bigger than Lee, probably. Who's from Michigan.
I'm just saying. I'm right there. Go green. Go green, man.
Joshy, Michigan. Final words.
I don't like either one of these teams as far as Michigan State and Ohio State, but I despise Ohio State.
Right, as you wear their red.
So this is this is where we need Sparty to come through.
Big Sparty fans.
Never before have I wanted Michigan State to win a game so much as I want them to.
Oh, they already came through against you.
A little help, but we won't get into that. I know. I mean, don't put it in the ref's hands. That's what it all comes down to. But
That's what the Bears say.
That's what Dana White says. Don't put it in the judge's hands.
and we put it in their hands, and they failed us. But now it's our time.
You got to beat Maryland.
That's the biggest thing. Beat Maryland, and then we'll whoop up them sorry bums.
As Georgia Bulldog head coach likes to say, everything's in front of you. You know?
So
So your destiny is in your hands.
this one's a weird one for me because I to a degree I need Ohio State to win this.
You do.
Because if Ohio State
Or
wins
not.
and then we beat Ohio State, that looks better for us because now they're
Right.
the number 3.
Like I said, I just
team
need
in the nation.
really, I just need Michigan State to cover 20 points. That's what I really need. But
After
18
that,
would
you
be
don't
good.
get-
solid.
Wouldn't
Yeah,
it? Yeah, it'd be
solid.
awesome.
But let's be real, man. We want to see Ohio State go down. That's what we want to see.
Yes, at the end of the day.
But see, then what was that, dude? That I don't think. Then I think Cincinnati would jump into the playoffs,
Definitely.
Yes.
and then it would come down to y'all's game. And if y'all beat Ohio State, and then y'all were to see, like, I don't know, I'm assuming, and I keep saying, Wisconsin's fought their way back because Minnesota and Iowa both lost like a bunch of times.
And here's
I'm
where it
assuming
gets
it's
super
Wisconsin.
wonky is if when Georgia plays Alabama in the SEC championship, say Alabama beats us, they're gonna flip around the 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
but they're also probably not for the playoffs going to put Alabama versus Georgia again.
No, it'll be Georgia.
And so they're
down
going to flip those around.
Georgia
and so,
will
which
go to
is going
3.
to exactly.
Right.
It's going to
And
flip
they'll
around
go to
who
1.
gets in and who doesn't. And so
Right.
now you really have a whole lot of issues on your hands with who you're going to put at 2, 3, 1.
That's when you would have
Gonna
to.
be
That's when you would have to put in the Ohio State if they win out, or the Michigan if they beat
Right,
Ohio State
right.
if they win. Whatever it may be, the Big Ten might have to get involved more or less because have to, and then you might leave Cincinnati out. But don't sleep on it, dude. Cincinnati's playing in some close. They're playing in some close.
I think we'll be there.
I
really do.
They're in some close games though, and I think they're gonna have to play
got
Houston or Memphis. But they're playing SMU, which SMU can put up some points.
Yeah.
They
and
barely beat Navy.
and they
doesn't
let
look
they
good.
let USF put up like 30 points on them.
Yeah.
Who USF got mollywopped by Wisconsin the first week.
Yeah, week 1 they lost by
USF's been
49.
terrible the entire
Yeah,
year.
so
to be in that game was a problem.
Cincinnati is not putting up
No.
the best games, and
they're
they
winning.
keep saying, "Oh, they're playing down to their opponents." This, that, and the other.
Like
That
the Steelers.
doesn't matter, man. Doesn't matter.
Nope.
We'll see. It's
Wins and
definitely
losses.
interesting. It's definitely interesting to see.
Any final words, gentlemen, before we wrap this one up?
I do want to say
What do you
one
got?
thing.
Hit us up, Josh.
Washington Wizards sitting up top.
The Washington Wizards.
Washington.
Sitting up top, number 1 in the East right now. Not the Miami Heat. Not,
Hey, leave
not-
them out of this.
Not the Chicago Bulls. The the Kyle Kuzma led Washington Wizards.
We're not worried about Washington because we're looking at the Jokic brothers. All right? We got a score to settle there before we head up to the top in the East.
Y'all better watch out messing with them boys
Them
over there.
Serbians.
It's a different world over there for them guys.
That was
Like,
the best one. They're like, they don't want to see these Miami boys. And like, bro, they're from Serbia. And I'm like, yeah, people go missing.
Yeah.
That one cracked me up. I did love that one. But, I mean, they got depth over there in Washington, which is what I love to see, is they have, I mean, you know, a handful of Lakers players.
what was it? Montrezl Harrell?
Montrezl Harrell,
Yeah,
former
he
Sixth
revived.
Man of the Year.
Bro, they're talking about him he's in the
Second place.
MVP running right now, and like they're doing the calculation. He'd be 5th in the MVP running.
That's wild.
That's insane.
Like, who
That's
is
not
he?
He wasn't even starting. He wasn't even getting playing time.
He was
Exactly.
6 man, not even 6 man.
Yeah. That's
Like-
crazy. And
And Kuzma's
they were-
literally the same player.
They're
and
not
he has
gonna-
a bigger role, and he's still the same.
As the season progresses,
Which is
they'll
fine.
come back down to earth.
is fine.
I have a strong feeling they'll
Yeah.
come back down, but it's just
well,
it's
the
cool
Bucks
to see right now.
The Bucks have been depleted, man. The Bucks have
Injuries.
been the Bucks have been hurt.
They went
Injuries.
5 games in a row without 2 of their stars. Like,
Yep.
you know, I mean, how do you expect to win like
Yeah.
that? And of course, on the other side, just Golden State looks like an absolute world-beating team. Like, no one's going to be able to stop them.
And coming up, we got Warriors and Nets.
That
Let's
should
go.
Be a good game.
What do they both have? 2 losses so
With-
far? That's it?
With the Warriors,
Wow.
whenever they get Clay back, how crazy is that going to be? Like, they had 2 top 10 draft picks that aren't even playing because they're that
Yeah, it's
good of a team
Well,
already.
Nets don't even have Kyrie playing, so like, what's that going to look like when he comes
He
back?
might not play.
Yeah, he just might not. But Harden's playing himself back in shape,
mean,
which is cool because that's what he did last year. And then
It is wild to see.
20
It is
pounds
wild to
overweight.
see where the Wizards are right.
Hey, that's
right
when he's
now.
at his best. So.
Yeah, I know. Then he pulled his hamstring, and he's like, "Well, I'm still playing myself back into shape from my pulled hamstring."
Yeah, there
I'm
you
like,
go.
"And from the 20 pounds that you held on in Houston." So that's just what you're going to be doing
More
from
to
now
love,
on.
man.
Hey, I
Because
just
what's
want.
the off season for?
I
Anyways,
just,
go on.
I just want to hit on. We're seeing like 2 of the top 5 best boxers right now in the game back to back. We just seen Canelo.
Let's go.
And now we're seeing
Canelo.
Crawford. Now we're seeing Crawford fight Porter.
That's what
and
we've
this-
needed to see.
This should
Crawford
line
and
up
Porter.
if Crawford, which I believe he's going to win.
I
This
also agree.
this will line up the Spence Crawford fight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually a huge Crawford fan. He's one of the best in the game right now. Ambidextrous fighters fighting both ways.
Technicalities absurd.
He's
Right.
a beast. He's a beast, man.
Right.
I'm definitely gonna be watching it. You can't miss him. Can't miss watching him. And like,
Oh, you can't miss him. If you throw punches, you can't miss him.
yeah, definitely,
You know what I'm saying?
definitely. Other than that, man, any given Sunday, and it's just been wild sports, man. Wild sports. If you got the money to throw some crazy underdog bets, man,
Or
now's the
maybe
time.
stay off the wallets for the moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would don't
Things
no
settle
shame.
back to
Yeah,
normal.
right? No shame because it's just crazy out there right now, man. It really is. From anybody could get upset, and like you got Alabama playing Arkansas. That's a heated rivalry in college. So any
There's
given,
a trophy for that, is there not?
yeah, I'm not too sure of the name of it,
I
but
think it's like the stepsister, aunt's, cousin, uncle's trophy.
Oh my god!
the Hogs Wild, Hogs Wild.
Hey, what was the WCW one? Road Wild. Road Wild pay-per-view, baby.
Yeah.
There we go.
But yeah, man, it's
Come on,
exciting.
fellas.
It's exciting. It's
It's
exciting.
time to wrap this up. All right, Travis, thank you for joining us. Do you have
Thanks
anything
for
else to
having
say
me.
about anything going on in sports that you just feel like you need to put out there for us?
No, I mean, I hope the Broncos, climb up there from the 4th seed, but I don't see it happening, nor do I see the Raiders doing that anytime soon. But we'll see.
You and me both.
Hey, and
and
it's
then-
good having
the
you.
Chiefs. That's one thing that we can't agree on.
Hey, there we go. That's
Yeah, hey, it was good having you for sure, man. It was good having you.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you coming in, man.
Great having you, Travis. Thank you again for joining in. It's been great. I can speak for both of these guys. They've already said it. It's been great having you. Thank you again for joining us. And then, all right, Steelers.
Nope.
You
Rams.
said nope.
Rams. Are they going to bounce back? Nope. I jumped on their bandwagon. They lost. Jumped on the Chiefs bandwagon. They started losing. Back on the
There's a
Steelers
lesson
bandwagon.
to be learned here.
Dude, no team I follow wins. So go football.
I mean, we're pretty late in the season. I mean, do you guys have like a favorite AFC team and a favorite NFC team?
I already
now?
tried that.
Let's try it now. I mean, we're
I was a
pretty
Chiefs.
close.
I was a Chiefs
Let's
Rams
look 'em up.
fan.
All right, start.
Chiefs Rams.
Chiefs Rams. What you got, Trav?
Ooh,
Because I'm still I'm gonna go Bucks Chiefs. Even all of it. Chiefs Bucks.
you know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say
Not the
Broncos
Chiefs.
and
no. I'm gonna say Cardinals and Patriots. Like oddly enough,
I like that.
yeah. I mean, it's a long shot.
like
You know, I think the Bills might kind of.
You might have listened to the podcast because you sound like Tori right now.
what?
I mean, I
He
call the
may have just
Patriots as
slipped
a
me
dark
$20.
horse.
Yeah.
I call the Patriots a dark horse in the
Dude,
very
this man
beginning
said
of
bet
all.
$100 on the Buccaneers
Yeah, Bucks and
Patriots Super.
Bowl.
I said if you think it's rigged.
Yeah.
If you think it's rigged,
I was
put
sold.
$100 on it.
I was sold. I was sold.
Hey,
man.
they're both paid playoff teams at the moment. You'll be fine.
Right.
I've been on them. I'm gonna stay on them. The Rams and the NFC. I think they got to get it together. They're still the best team. I don't know what's going on right now.
Yeah, they look great.
I don't know what's going on right now,
They
but
lost Robert Woods. That's.
I think once Odell comes in and gets his form, I think he'll be a good little.
Odell.
That'll definitely help. Odell will definitely help the defense.
And then the defense. I don't know how they're playing this bad.
I don't
They're not this
understand.
bad.
I don't understand.
And
That's
the
why I'm just going
AFC,
to straight watch MMA and boxing now.
I don't like it. I'm not going to go with the Chiefs. I'm actually going to go Chargers.
Right.
Oh, okay.
I do think
I
that they're
respect
going to
it.
get this figured out and somehow
They-
realize that they're better than what they're showing.
3 losses in the last 4 games. They're going to get that.
They're
figured
better
out.
than
They're going to
that.
be in the Super Bowl
Yeah.
for sure.
They're better than
No,
that.
definitely.
Yep.
Definitely.
I agree. I could see that happening,
The
man.
Raiders have a better chance, but that's solid. All right, anyways, I think that's going to do it for us because we can go down this rabbit hole all day long and just going back and forth. Anyways, Shares and Skins podcast. Share if you care. Thank you for tuning in. Travis, again, thanks for joining us. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
We'll catch you next time.